Welcome back to CNBC on assignment, NBA China Games 2025. Perhaps no player in history has been more instrumental in the league's popularity in China than 8-time NBA All-Star Yao Ming.
Well, for me, that actually NBA never left. NBA continually being live in China on Tencent, Migu, those broadcasting platform, and benefit millions of fans, and then a lot of young generation of athletes or fans, and very well know the young stars in the NBA, and I know the change of the NBA. So I think the NBA never left.
Okay, so they didn't play games here in about 6 years, but they are now. Did you have anything to do with that?
Well, I think this all contributed by the NBA group and also the owners, Joe Tsai, and from Phoenix Suns side. I'm also very excited that the Rockets will play here too next year. I'm very excited to see a lot of old friends. I think this happened being supported by so many different parties that whether it's in the States or in China. That shows that people have a great desire of this sport. Basketball, I would say, in China is the most popular sport for young generation. I have some numbers from back to the day I worked for CBA that shows it's by far the #1 sport chosen by the teenager age, and that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That shows that we have great talent, great potential to dig on, and also to join the basketball as a big family in the world.
And since you were an NBA player, does that make the country love the NBA too?
Well, NBA, I think it exists before I joined the NBA. Michael Jordan, before that, a little bit older, Larry Bird, or Dr. J, Will Chamberlain, and those names. I think their name lasts forever. And obviously, I'm lucky enough to be part of that.
So you said the NBA never left, but the premier professional basketball league, in its absence from preseason games in China, there was the rise of grassroots Chinese village basketball. Did you take notice of that?
Well, that shows that how popular the basketball is, regarding how expensive the NBA arena is. But you can also just have a basketball in the hoop in a village, in the open ground. And I saw some of a picture. I even witnessed some with my eye, because hiding in a car, I couldn't really be there. But I really feel touched by those passion of those fans and those athletes who just even they play on the basketball court, without those fancy jersey. But the passion, you can feel the passion.
U.S. Sports League is coming to Macau to play basketball. We are in a divided world now. How do you think basketball can be a unifier? How can sport be a unifier?
Well, we love basketball and we love sports because inside of a line that the game is very simple, very transparent. But we know there's other world outside of that line. Outside of a line, it's not that simple. It's more complicated, and that's why I think that people love sports, because we through the sports that we finish our competition. We did our competition, but also through the competition that we also respect each other. I think that's the value of the sports.
From Yao Ming to 4-time NBA champion turned investor Andre Iguodala, NBA legends came out in force to support the league's return to China.
For me personally, I like to call myself an investor first. And one of the first things you look at is market, your total addressable market. And particularly with basketball, how many people are playing the sport? And with the sheer size of China, the sheer size of Asia, particularly China, and how many people have an affinity to the game of basketball, and how many people play daily, it's a place that you definitely want to, influence in terms of, the fundamentals of the sport and what it brings. So what we're trying to teach is culture, discipline, accountability, sportsmanship. And so I think sometimes we over-commercialize things, But when we talk about the essence of what sports brings in terms of community, in terms of bringing us all together, why not?
Talk to me about your experience in China. You've traveled to China previously for NBA promotional tours when you were with the Golden State Warriors 2013 and 2017. Can you bring us back, share some of that experience?
Well, my experiences in China have been amazing. I had a very strategic agent who had me in China every summer. So every off season, I would travel to China, whether it was for my shoe endorser camps, or there was for basketball clinics, or it was, I spent a couple of preseasons with the Golden State Warriors here in China as well. Rob Pelinka, who's the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers right now, and Kobe Bryant was one of the clients as well. And we saw his influence and the impressions that he made on the entire continent. And so he had a model where he knew this was a very important place for his athletes to be. So I spent a great amount of time here.
It was Joe Tsai, chairman of Alibaba, that was instrumental in bringing the NBA back. That was in his role as the governor of the Brooklyn Nets. And I ask you about this, or I bring up Alibaba, because they have just announced a partnership with the NBA to bring its AI and cloud computing services to improve fan experience on the NBA app in China. I want to ask you about your investments. As an investor, do you have any appetite for Chinese investment?
Well, of course. Like I said, with the sheer size of, there's 350 million Americans in total in the country. There's 300 million, Chinese basketball players or fans that play basketball every single day. And so that's just an opportunity to get to know your fan, get closer to them. There's a lot of buying power there. There's a lot of transaction there, and you don't want it just to be a transaction, so you want to get as close to them as possible. And then how business works, you're just layering your value prop to your customer every single time you interact with them.
Are there any skills that you acquired as a professional athlete, as a basketball player, that you use to cut through the noise as an investor?
Oh, absolutely. Trends can get you in trouble, and we see that in all levels of sport. And you talk about basketball specifically, it trends to wherever the waves may take you, and you always have to be cautious of that. There's a time where the mid-range shot was where it was at. You had to have a center. Now we're moving outside. We're shooting a lot of three-pointers, but it's gotten some teams in trouble, and you miss a lot of data. The Los Angeles Lakers won the championship in the bubble, and they were, at the bottom of the league in three-point attempts. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Their best player, his patent move is a mid-range shot. So you really just have to be cautious and understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and what will put you in the best situation possible, as opposed to just doing what everyone else is doing.